Hey guys, good evening. This is Abe. I hope everyone is doing well. This is kind of a quick video over here for ES levels for tonight and quick recap for today and the price action and the trades for today or the lack thereof. So go ahead and switch to the chart over here. So this morning we opened the market somewhere around here uh, and in this area around the 37.10 or so, we started pushing up a little bit. You see this little area over here, kind of like a top here and a top here. There's a rejection and a rejection, like this rejection here from September 23rd, another rejection from this area around the 27th. And finally, we had today pre-market. They try to obviously go through this area, but it rejected, came right back up. And honestly, I thought we were going to be able to, um, well, I thought we were going to be able to push right through, and I will show here in a minute on the market net flow. And to tell you the truth, I don't normally, trade off of guts, but this morning I truly felt that okay, well, the setup for the bearish move has not completed yet. However, I did not expect that the move that we had today would actually happen. And I will talk about this move here overnight here in a minute, which is crazy actually. Globex session usually is a quiet session, not a whole lot of move. So far, we've dropped from around 36.70 area to 36.27, solid 40 plus points. And we will look at Dixie as well, which is ripping at the moment. To go back over here, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the market net flow for today. And as you guys can see here on the side, we started actually looking bullish and kind of coincides with, break over the 37.25 area on the chart, which is the white line that you saw on our chart earlier, which is around over here. But then again, I wanted some kind of a confirmation. I wanted like uh, I wanted like a 15-minute candle to close above. I wanted to break above this high over here at least. And I was trying to take it maybe 37.45 area, perhaps a little bit higher maybe, but I wasn't going to risk it for a very large move. And honestly, like I said, I did not expect a whole lot. To go back over here on the market net flow, as you guys can see over here, the volume of puts was very low in the beginning of the day, and so was the volume for, or let's just say the flow of the calls. And this thing started going down and down. At the same time, the puts weren't really moving up. This is all upwards of, Eastern time. This area over here, upwards of 11 a.m. Eastern time or so. And at the same time, like it was not for me, based on the flow, at least when I was trying to trade the strategy based off of the flow, it just was not very convincing. There's not a whole lot of options flowing in the market, I guess, neither way, either puts or calls, right? And previously, on the previous day, we had a green candle on the delta exposure, and basically would tell us that possibility for the day to be green. So, I was trying to wait for the level to break and see if that actually works well with the market net flow. I would take a trade. Otherwise, I would just sit on my hands, and that's what I end up doing actually. So, to go back on the chart over here, we tried, like I said, these rejections that we have in this area, and then started the drop. And overall, the daily volume, if I want to take a look at the daily candles for the daily volume for today, it wasn't too bad actually compared to other days. It was pretty decent. Uh, but again, I was just not too comfortable taking a trade at that time. I At this drop, there was another chance for me actually try to take another trade on it, a put on the break of around this 36.87 area or so. but we came back here, we bounced and we came back, we broke through and actually was the nicest move of the day. However, unfortunately, I was in a meeting and I just could not, I couldn't focus on two things at once. So, I'm not going to chase it. And by the time we broke up below this level, which is a very, very key level that we were saying, the 3660 in the previous video, that you definitely, if we broke below it, that we see these levels to the downside over here and towards 3640 area and then 3600, and from there we might even reach downwards of 3580 or so. Um, However, again, I was available at the time where this happened, this break below this area, but I felt like we're a little too extended, for a move for today. And again, the volume wasn't there. And if you watch the video that I put on Sunday, and if you look at the economic calendar section in Discord, you would see that it seems like the Feds just like to hear themselves talk, like Pat said. There are a lot of Feds members scheduled to speak this week, and you just kind of have to be very careful. One of those things this morning we had Bullard scheduled to speak at 9:55, which he started speaking sooner than that, and then you had the new home sales report that was scheduled at 10 a.m. Eastern, and so there was some events that could have actually moved the market. So, you have to keep track of these things whenever you're actually trading. So for tomorrow, my plan was going to be is waiting to the break of this level over here, the 3640, and probably take it down to around 3600. Because, technically, if we break this level and we stay below this level, this is going to be the target. 3600 is a whole number, and it is very key for us to actually uh, hold below it if we were going to continue to the downside. This yellow line over here is a previous resistance on ES, and this is why I kept it. As you guys can see over here, we had this rejection, this area of consolidation over here when we broke above and continued. And so I'm just going to keep it here as a possible support for this area. And these levels actually, now that we broke, we really haven't traded it since December of 2020. That's a long time ago. And so, this is a pretty big deal, actually, that we're breaking here. Obviously, the 3600 is going to be a key level for many reasons. Like we said, this area over here was the area of launch before. We had two rejections, one in November and one in December of 2020. And prior to that, it used to be a resistance when September of 2020 actually rejected, pulled back. Within 50 points, this area over here back in October of 2020 rejected, came back, and then it wasn't until November where we actually broke through, retested it once, twice in the following month, and you know, the chart started taking off from there. So I would definitely think that this 3600 has a lot of uh, kind of like, let's just call it an area of interest or an area of significance. Perhaps we will start seeing some buy-in over here in this area and probably a bounce back. If we switch to the SPY chart, you guys will see that when we switch to the daily, so to try to see some gaps over here, we have this gap up here that has not filled yet, upwards of 330, sorry, I can't speak, 374. You have another gap, a pretty decent gap from the CPI that fills at around 408 and 55 cents. And so I'm not saying that this is going to fill right now, but saying that, keep an eye on these things. Eventually, these gaps usually end up getting filled. And so um, I would definitely keep an eye on it. So to go back to ES's chart, and this is another reason why I like to trade SPY off of ES, because these overnight moves you do not see on SPY, basically like if it never happened, but they actually do create levels and levels of consolidations and supports and resistances. So it's it's really good to actually look at the futures. So what's the plan for tomorrow? So we're gonna see here. To the upside, one of the main things I'll be looking for, at least for a small move, if it happens, maybe the break above this 36.75 over here. It could probably move upwards. I would say maybe upwards of 3,700. That is a possibility to be a target. It could come back up here to this region, a little bit higher than 3,700, but I would try to stay safe. The other thing that we might see here is basically a hold below the 3660, and if that held and that didn't go anywhere, we might just see like a retracement here overnight, upwards of this area of consolidation at around 3660 area, and if it rejects over there, then your first target down is going to be 3640. Second target down is 3600. So the 3600 is definitely an area of interest over here, and I wouldn't be surprised that we end up here. Now, once we get to this region, I would be kind of looking to perhaps seeing some kind of a relief bounce of some sort. And as you may know, in these bear markets, usually when there's a relief bounce of some sort, they can be very, very violent, like you see over here, this bounce that we had in September, that was pretty crazy to the point where had people wondering that, hey, September is a pretty bearish month historically, what is going on? Well, this is what's going on, There was a bear capitulation or some sort of bear capitulation. They're trying to get the shorts out of their positions, and then boom, there you go. Look at this move. I mean, it was what from 41.72 all the way down here now to 36.44. That's a pretty amazing move. I mean, if you look at it percentage wise, that's as of tonight around 13%, 13% on the, S&P 500. That's pretty solid. So again, I'm hoping that, not all the move happens overnight, that we probably come back tomorrow. I would be more, I would say on the bearish side. I would hope that they actually come back here and reject in this area so that you can actually probably try to take a short. And like I said, these will be my targets. Perhaps over here, 3620 will be another target since it faced some kind of a support over here overnight, if that holds to be support. But then again, you might have market continue and hit all these levels by tomorrow morning. We wake up and it's already here. So, so yeah, definitely these are the two levels that I'll be looking for. Of course, further downside, if we reject around this area over here, as long as we don't break above 3675 area and we keep rejecting, it'll probably be a decent short. If that doesn't happen and if it continues, then we might see a move to the upside upwards of this area of 3700. And maybe if we try to move up a little bit higher, depends on the flow in the market and the volume, we'll see what happens around this area, but I wouldn't try to go long past this point over here. But to the downside, again, if they don't make the move overnight, I'm really hoping for a retracement and a rejection over here. Usually these moves overnight, they might get washed in the daytime or they may get retraced by the morning just because they want in on it. So they just come back here, retrace, mitigate in this area, and boom, down to this region. Another thing that is really interesting here to look at tonight is going to be the dollar index, Dixie. And I always switch to the weekly just to go far back and as far back as I can to see where we at. And the level that we're in right now is the highest since May of 2002. So as of right now, as it looks right now, based on the weekly, we could probably hit the 115 or a little bit higher, perhaps. We can do that. But if that continues, we could see upwards of 116.73. I was reading something on Twitter that JP Morgan, were saying that, you know, moves like this on Dixie usually end in disaster. So hopefully there will be no disasters, but yeah, all this move to the upside in the US dollar index, I mean, it's pretty impressive. And usually what it does to equities is that it actually causes equities to drop. And so, because investors, they switch to the US dollar, try to make money over there. And what it does as well to gold is that you'll see gold futures also move the opposite direction over here. And these are some of the things that you would see in the market. Usually, US dollar index moves against uh, or moves the opposite direction, usually of gold. And so, if this continues, we could probably see gold come back and test around 1600. If it breaks below, I want to say if it breaks below 1570, that would probably be bad for gold because what I see below there is all the way down to about $1,450 an ounce, which is very, very low, considering that gold had hit over $2,000 not too long ago. Um, Yeah, I mean, I explained the reasoning of basically for me not taking the trades this morning or today, making signals, let's just say. And I know the guys did actually very well, but usually just plan the trade, trade the plan. Don't try to push the trade. Don't try to FOMO. Don't try to follow or chase the trade because you'll end up losing. Um, in this market, usually we say, bears get paid, bulls get paid, and pigs get slaughtered. We don't want to be the ones that are getting slaughtered. If this is the first time you're watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you would press that like button and hit the subscribe. And if you are interested in trading, you can join us and trade with us live in Discord. Um, I'll have the link for Discord in the description. We're actually running a special for a free month. Actually, we'll give you 5 weeks total for free. The code will be listed in Discord in the server. Give us a chance. Come check out the group. If you like it, you can stay. If you don't like it, there is no commitment. You can cancel anytime, but we'd love to see you there. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.